Richard Russell Riordan Jr., Uncle Rick for friends, born in 1964, is a former American professor who began his career as an author writing mystery books for adults. Teaching middle school, he was concerned that his students often wanted to read his books, which were not appropriate for kids of their age. He also noticed that both of his sons were reluctant readers, and he wanted to encourage them to read more. Because of this, inspired by the reading difficulties of one of his sons, diagnosed with dyslexia and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Riordan began creating stories about Percy Jackson, a young demigod from a dysfunctional family. He chose mythology as his theme because it was the only subject his son found fun and exciting. The main series, The Olympians, consists of 5 books and had 2 sequels, The Heroes of Olympus and The Trials of Apollo. The Lighting Thief started out as a bedtime story, but over time it became a literary phenomenon worldwide. The book narrates the adventures of Percy Jackson, a dyslexic and hyperactive 12-year-old who attends a boarding school for troubled boys. During a field trip, Percy sees his math teacher turning into a fury and trying to kill him. So he discovers that he is a demigod, the son of a human woman and a Greek god, Poseidon. His destiny is therefore to live at Camp Half-Blood among his peers, to train and become a true hero. Together with his friends, Grover, a satyr, and Annabeth, daughter of Athena, Percy will have to investigate the mysterious theft of Zeus' lightning bolt to prove his innocence and avoid a catastrophic war between the gods. The differences between the book and the film adaptation are many, and not all of them are successful. Despite broadly capturing the story of the book, the adaptation takes many narrative liberties. The most obvious one is the age of the protagonists. In the book, they all have 12 years old, while in the film, they're older, about 16. Other differences that we can define as minor are that in the book, Annabeth has blonde hair, in the film, she has dark hair. Leo Castellan, the antagonist, has a long scar on his face that is completely ignored in the movie. The 3 main characters, Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, face several misadventures around America. In the film, some of these are changed, many completely eliminated, and others even invented, such as the confrontation with the Hydra. Moreover, the representation of the Half-Blood Camp, the refuge of the demigods, is quite different from Riordan's description. For example, the 12 houses, each dedicated to a different god, in which the demigods sleep, are missing. Finally, the series of Percy Jackson is full of humor, but in the adaptation there is very little of the latter. If in the book almost everything is treated lightly, in the film the overall tone is much more serious. The situation does not improve when you focus on Greek mythology. What should be the film's strong point is paradoxically his Achilles heel. Riordan is very precise in his handling of characters and situations from myths, as opposed to the directors, who does not seem to give them much thought. Everything that hints at ancient Greek tales, from monsters to iconic locations, is portrayed superficially, sometimes even incorrectly. An obvious example is that since the film is set in spring, Persephone should not be in the underworld, rather on Earth. The discovery of one's identity is particularly important in the novel. Percy spends much of this novel trying to come to terms with his identity. He has never felt like he fit in with others around him, and this only escalates when he discovers that he is a demigod, a person who, legitimately, has 2 different identities, as mortal and god. It is difficult for him to find a place in either world until he realizes that as a demigod, he has an identity all of his own, and a place, Camp Half-Blood, where he can truly be himself. Characters transform over the course of any journey, becoming someone different from the person they were when they set out. This is especially true for Percy, who embarked on a hero's quest to discover his past and understand his new life. Percy was agitated and uncertain when he left Camp Fat Blood, but he gained certainty and confidence in himself, his past, and his identity as a half-blood. As such, one of the main themes of this novel is transformation and discovery.
I am the son of Poseidon.
Other important themes are family, friendship, and loyalty. Percy has struggled with the idea of family since birth. Having never known his father, the only parental figure in his life was his mother, whom he loved very dearly. At the end of the story, Percy meets his real father. He doesn't feel a family connection to him, but he feels happy at the idea of his father being proud of him. Percy learns that family can extend beyond the blood ties. In fact, Percy would never have succeeded in his quest without the help of his friends. Friendship was the key to his success, true proof that no hero can make it on his own.
We'll take him. I'm Luke, son of Hermes and camp leader. Not necessarily in that order.
The main conflict in this story revolves around the idea of deception, as the characters steal and lie to achieve their ends. Ares lies about his intentions to Percy and his friends, Kronos stays hidden and relies on others to do his dirty work, and Luke lies and pretends to be Percy's friend when he is actually acting against him. Percy must discover the truth and overcome the deception around him in order to succeed.
Yep, you're a demigod. 2 points for Percy Jackson.
Generally, when I watch a movie based on a book, I don't get into a controversy over every single difference. However, when it comes to Percy Jackson, unfortunately, I just can't get past it. And that's really one of the main reasons why I wanted to analyze it. The novel gives young people the opportunity to approach and learn in an adventurous and fun way a mythological sphere, in my opinion, fascinating, that too often is treated in a boring and superficial way. But what makes this book truly unique is the absolute fidelity to the Greek myths, combined with the care with which they are adapted to the modern context, often in an ironic way. So we have the Olympus transferred to the Empire State Building, the Lotuses who run a casino in Las Vegas, Circe who owns a spa, and so on. In 2020, Disney Plus has decided to bring back an adaptation of the novel in a TV series version. Not much is known about it yet, but what is certain is that the stories that have fascinated readers for years will always be imprinted in the pages of the books, and there no one can touch them.